Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Hazel Adams. Thank you for joining me today. I don't have a lot of time to record today, but I did want to jump on and just see how you're doing and touch base with you. We have a lot of new upheaval that's come up in the last couple of days since I last posted. And of course, we are still in the solstice. We passed the exact moment of solstice, but we're still very much in those solstice energies, the upgrades into our light bodies, the purging of generational and long embedded, inherited within the human race, collective trauma, drama, and conflicts. So I wanted to just check with you and see how you're doing with that. I'd like to hear from you in the comments and questions. And also to talk to you about how to maintain your well-being, your standing on your solid ground, your divinely given real estate, and holding steady in the midst of this chaos that we're seeing. So first of all, around the solstice energy, I don't know what you've been experiencing. Different people will have been experiencing it different ways. Certainly we are, all of us individually and collectively in the world, are having any residual old patterns or acceptance of old patterns, even if they're patterns we had thought we had gotten past and through, things that we don't want, things that we don't feel that we tolerate, but things, traumas, conflicts, dynamics that we still somehow have sort of been accepting in our world or is just as part of how it is. All of those things are coming up to be released. Individually, you may be experiencing sadness, anger. You may have memories come up. You may have dreams reminding you of old relationships. You may have people come to mind that you hadn't thought of in years. I think of it as sort of soda bubbles coming up from the bottom of a Coca-Cola glass. These old energies rising to the top and just popping into the atmosphere and being gone. You could have all kinds of feelings and thoughts and memories, interrupted sleep patterns, dreams. Because of all the solar activity that we've been having, you could be experiencing extra energy or even being more perhaps irritable or standoffish than normal. Or you could be feeling very tired. I and my husband both have been so tired the last couple of days that we just really didn't have energy to do almost anything but sit on the couch or take a nap. And I just got done doing that Sunday live spirit talk that I do the second and fourth Sunday of every month. And a couple of the attendees in that said that that they've been just very, very tired, sleepy for the last couple of days. And one of them had even had she badly sprained her ankle and so has to just lay on the couch for a few days. And I said, we needed a reason to just lay back and just not be doing anything. And she said, yes, that is absolutely correct. And so she didn't even want or need any help trying to heal the sprained ankle, because in this case, that is the way she gave herself permission to just kind of lay on the couch and not do anything. And I told her that, yeah, I've seen that a lot, in my clients and even in my husband, but it's been a lot of years since I needed to sort of give myself a physical excuse to be able to sit down or lay down if I need to do that. If I need time to myself, I don't need to get sick or break something to do it. But what I'm saying to you is, if you need downtime and just to be alone and just to sleep and rest and not do anything, don't judge yourself as being lazy. Don't worry about it. Give yourself what you need, because we're going through tremendous energy upgrades right now and releasing and purging what is not love and light. And we are transforming into our light bodies. I mean, our bodies are literally shifting. So yeah, don't judge anything. Just be kind to yourself. And that's actually one of the main things I wanted to talk about with you today. As a species and a planet, we're going through this ascension, and we all here, you watching this video, we know it. And it can get a little overwhelming because this is going on, and then you see things like the US and Israel bombing Iran, and it can look very scary. I want to reiterate something I said in the last video I posted. I do not see World War III happening or, nuclear war going on. We're going to be fine. Yes, it might look like certain countries like Iran and Russia, China, North Korea are getting together and that they might start saber rattling and making threats and whatnot. It just doesn't feel like the energy is there for this to just turn into World War III or something. That's not going to happen, I don't believe. But meanwhile, you might even be looking at this going, why am I seeing this? I'm holding this love and light and unity. Why are things getting worse? Well, in the first place, they're not getting worse. Again, it's what doesn't belong is rising to the surface where we can see it. This action by the US and Israel and all of this saber rattling is really already starting to catalyze a big reaction against this kind of thing. There was a big rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Bernie Sanders, as some of you I think are in the UK, Bernie Sanders is a very left-leaning, kind, intelligent, older gentleman, senator, and he is going around the country doing rallies for no oligarchies. And he's speaking against Trump and he's speaking against oligarchy. And he goes into red, far-right states and areas and gives these talks, and thousands of people in red states attend, far-right states attend. And so Tulsa, Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma is a red state, and it was this hugely well-attended rally, and everybody was yelling, "No more war! No more war!" Even Donald Trump's own base is protesting against him, posting all kinds of things about, you were supposed to be the president of peace and you're getting us into more war. His own followers putting up posts of, this is what you said about other leaders, 3 years ago, and now you're doing it. So what I'm saying is there's a huge backlash against all of this and against Donald Trump. And so I think it is really true that even though this stuff looks scary and ugly, it's going to actually be what brings everything to a head and allows us as a world to reject and clear that kind of negative, adversarial, warmongering, greed, power control based leadership. I think you're going to see over the next rest of this year, maybe through 2026, I think you're going to see a lot of these authoritarian leaders go down in flames. And again, meanwhile, here we are seeing it. How do we take care of ourselves? And that really is like the main thing I wanted to talk with you about today. Sometimes when we get up, we feel great. We feel like, yes, I am solid in peace and love. And yeah, I see what's going on in the world, but I know who I am and I know what I'm doing and I'm fine. Other days we can get up and just sort of feel like a little anxious and on shaky ground and almost maybe doubting ourselves and doubting what we're co-creating and all of those sorts of things. I want you to remember both when you get up in the morning and then several times throughout the day. Remember to seat yourself. Remember to anchor in your heart and in the goodness and rightness of your being. Just seat yourself in the understanding and the realization. Remind yourself that you are source. You are God consciousness, expressing, manifesting, and experiencing through your unique perspective and pathway of self-realization, but that you are the God consciousness, experiencing everything from your unique perspective on your unique pathway of experience and learning and expansion and waking up. You are good. You are inherently good. You are source. You are love and light. You are divine in your being. So remind yourself, establish yourself firmly in the goodness and the rightness of your being, and that you are at all times doing exactly what it is you need to be doing. As my teacher Seth said, your being is its own justification. You don't need to be anything other than who and what you truly are in your true authentic joy. You don't need to do anything that is not what you authentically, truly in your heart want to do. Being and doing you is exactly your job here. And in doing that, in being that, you are giving your service. That is your service. There's a line from the attunements of Paul Selig's guides. And if you're not familiar with those attunements, I've actually posted 2 or 3 attunement sessions to YouTube. You can go ahead and have a look at those. I may do another one in the near future that's maybe a lot shorter than the previous ones, but you can get a look at them and get a good idea. But there's one line. It says, I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. That line, I know how I serve in truth. That is saying, I know my true being and I know the value of my true being. I know who and what I truly am, and I know the value of that. That is what I bring to the world. That is what I bring to the collective. And if you feel like you're not getting into that space within yourself, ask for help from the higher dimensionals, the Arcturians, the Ascended Masters, Yeshua, from your guides and angels, from your higher self. Ask for help going into resonance where you feel the value, the true value of your authentic being in this whole construct that we're in this earth construct. Ask for help vibrating in the field of the heart, or the upper octave, or the higher octave, whatever you like to call it. Just ask for that help, and I guarantee you that in a minute or 5 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever, you will find yourself feeling very differently. I want to remind us all that we are here at this time by choice. We chose to come here and be part of the leading edge that takes the human collective consciousness, the species consciousness, from the negative separation, adversarial, limitation, lack paradigm, and step into the expanded, infinite possibility, abundance, heaven on earth, love, cooperation, unity paradigm. We are the leading edge. We came here to actually be that, to sort of walk through the door into Narnia, so to speak, if you've ever seen that story. And in doing that, we add that to the collective for everybody so that everyone can do the same. And as we look at some of the seemingly worsening chaos and negativity right now, and even frankly that Donald Trump was elected, we chose that version of the timeline as well, everyone. And we did so for a good reason. Yeah, there was a timeline in which Trump didn't win or didn't hijack the election and Kamala won. And that would have been fine and dandy. But by choosing the version of the timeline in which the election went Trump's way, at least for now, we are actually experiencing and learning more about coming awake and learning to hold the vibration of love and unity at the higher vibration, even amidst seemingly increasing chaos and negativity, which makes us an even stronger anchor for that energy. So we chose this. We are here for a reason. Make sure before you worry about supporting everybody else and supporting anything else, make sure every day that you are taking care of you first. Being an anchor for that energy requires you to be anchored in your source energy, in your heart, in your love, in your knowing your true soul's goodness, the rightness of your being, and that you are of value just by being that vibration within the collective. That's what I wanted to share with you today. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments as far as what you're experiencing during all of this. If you have any questions or comments or something that you would like me to cover in one of these YouTubes, please feel free to share that. If you like these videos and want to support this channel, please click like and subscribe, share the video with your friends, and consider going to my Patreon page and becoming a member. Thank you all for being here today, and have a most blessed rest of your weekend.